Hello and welcome back to my channel. Okay, this is going to be a long video. Gauging a shower can take a little bit of time, especially when you're doing subway tile. So these are 2" by 12" and we are going to go vertical. That's what she wants. It's a little bit harder going vertical as opposed to going horizontal, stacked, or brick. Brick is a lot easier, but we're going to go vertical stacked. So you just grab your level. Let me just do some adjustment here for the camera. All right. And you always check your ceilings. You always want to make sure that your ceilings are pretty decent. And check the back. And you go side. Check that. And we'll go to the right side. Check that and see if I give you the thumbs up. All right. Gave you the thumbs up. It's all good. Remember, if your ceiling is off, always gauge a full tile at the top, at the highest point of that tub ceiling. Because if you take it on a lower part, you're going to be short with the cut. I usually allow about a 1/4 inch cut on the top. So I'm going to take my center from one wall to the next. And we're going to divide that by 2 and get a center. And we're going to mark that center. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to put my level on that center line. And we are going to pencil that center line. You don't have to go all the way up. I don't do that. I just do a little bit, like 4 or 5 foot. And we're gonna just make sure here. Usually I'll dry gauge it and just mark. But what I did, usually most of the times what I do is I lay it out on the floor dry. And I use my spacers. Remember, full at the end walls, guys. Always full tile at the end wall. And make sure the corner, the drywaller always puts a level on that corner bead. So I'm going to tilt my camera to the floor here. And you'll see vertical. And the other one to your right is for the height. So I'm going to see, just stretch out your tape from and see whatever that distance is. Okay, so we're gonna just see what the cuts are gonna be at the 2 end walls. We want to make sure that the cuts are gonna be equal at the 2 end walls. So and I'm just gonna check my wall just to make sure from the center line of that wall. So I'm pretty sure I had to do some adjustments. I am going to tell you, please always do a prefab niche. Always get a Kerdi niche. That way you can make the adjustment yourself. Unfortunately, I couldn't do a full on the corners because the niche, I was right on the edge of that niche with the tile. And that really sucks. So this is not my builder. I'm doing an 8,000 square foot house on the lake. So these people are 2 doors down. I'm going vertical. So these people are 2 doors down, and they asked the builder if they know somebody, and the builder asked if I can help these people out. Very nice people. So this is going to be the height. Remember, always add a 1/4 inch on that. On the highest point of the ceiling, you gauge. But like I said, the ceiling was good. So I got lucky with this one as well. Those are my spacers. I always use these spacers all the time. It's my go-to thing. There we go. So I marked the height, and that line there is going to be my cut on the bottom. That's going to be my first course. So just make sure, just put that line on the wall, from the tile onto the wall, that first cut line. And you are going to put your level, and you're going to strike a line with your pencil from both walls to and the back wall. And always check, make sure that when you put your level and you strike your line, make sure it's dead level. And it's always good to have wedges too, because you might undercut just like a 16th or an 8th. You do want to leave a little bit of expansion between the tub and the tile. Just like everything, there should always be just a little bit of an expansion. Don't forget, you are going to grout and you're going to silicone when a job is done. Okay, so that's going to be my cut line. Put a mark on that so you don't get the cut confused. Sometimes tubs are not straight, so you're gonna have to it's gonna take a little bit of time to do that first course. So once you get that first course going, you're laughing the next day. I always do with Subway, I always do a first course. The next day I come when everything is dry, because it's more workable and you're not shifting the tiles, especially with a little bit of a small cut like that. And it's always good to remember to put your level on top and your level on the tile to make sure you don't have any bows or anything. Make sure that first course is straight on the top and no bows in the center. So right now I'm just marking my wall level, my first course. I always tell my wife, she always says, why do you have so many levels? And I tell her, because that bubble always tells me the truth. She just laughs at me. She says, oh, you're silly. So levels are my best friend. I wish the compound guy knew about that. That corner bead, it's off on the bottom. Like, I'd say about over a 1/4 inch. But I'll cheat things and I'll make it look proper. Remember, full on the outside walls, guys. Full is so important. You can do it your way. If you want to do a cut on the outside, that's fine. But it's just more appealing with a full on the top and a full on the outside. And remember, always check with your levels, always check with your tape measure. I have to tell you this 100 times so you don't forget. Okay. We'll get there. So what I'm doing is I'm just measuring to see if there's any high spots. I know I put my level on there, but the tub could be a little shifted from corner to corner, from side to side. So I'm just making sure. Let's see if I give you the thumbs up on this. Because if you don't want to have a gap on your last course of tile. You don't want to have a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch or whatever. So I did this one job a long time ago, and I had to take like the ceiling was so bad. It was an old cottage. It was like 5/8 off on one corner. The ceiling was quite crooked, but it's an old building, so, but it turned out beautiful and they were really happy with everything. Remember guys, the more corners that you put in your niche, the wall will stick out. Like inside corners, outside corners, curdy band around. You really got to make sure you seal that. And the best way is to, you don't have to worry about that. The curdy niche. So what I'm doing here is I'm making sure from one wall where that plumbing side is going to be equal to the other side. There's two ways of doing it. You could take your corners of the right plumbing side and make sure it's going to be the same distance from there. If not, it's always good to check too from your floor on the grout line, and I'll show you that in a second. So I take my measurement from the grout line to the wall. That always helps out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to strike that line. And I will check with that grout line on the floor, see how far off I am from both walls. Don't strike it all the way up, just a little bit, just to make sure. You're just going to see what happens here. Okay, you see the tile there? Remember that first course, if you've seen my floor tile installment, I have a full at that tub. I'm gonna take a measurement from that grout line. That looks good there. See what happens. All right, we got lucky. Okay. I'm gonna go vertical. And we're gonna mark that line. That's gonna be my first course. You can dry gauge it, but it's better to lay it on the floor and do all the measurements on the floor. I would put a level on the floor and just put your tiles against the level so that way you're going straight. All right. My level. You should put your level on the tub. See how off that tub is. It might be. Oh, look at that! I'm lucky with that one too. Wow, that's double bonus. I'm lucky. Okay, so we're gonna strike my first line for my first course. Either that or I'm seeing how bad the wall is. It's a little hard to see here. That's it. Thank you, and come back and subscribe and check out my installation. Thank you. Bye-bye.